coming at you live. It's Sunday Stories.
Hello, everyone. Happy Canada Day.
It's claimed to help relax and strengthen our digitally strained eyes. But does it really work?
9-year-old Daniel has found the secret to happiness, and it comes in the shape of yoga.
The Liberal leader in a yoga pose enlisted some costs to the Liberal campaign.
A very happy Canada Day.
Hello friends, and welcome back to another episode of Sunday Stories with me, your host, Fahrim Shirinzade, where we cover ongoing headlines and meet interesting fucking guests. For a long time, I have wondered, what is so-called yoga? Why is everyone dressing in tight pants and stretching all together with an instructor? And like all episodes in this podcast, it all starts with the question, why? To help me with this topic, I have an amazing woman to co-host the show with me. She has moved from Canada, worked with the Minister of Foreign Affairs, and has 2 very popular yoga studios here in Sweden. Ladies and gentlemen, give a big welcome to Jerica.
Thanks so much for having me.
It's very nice to have you here.
Thanks.
Like I said to you before, I had Patrick on the show.
Yeah.
And when we were done with the episode, I asked Patrick, like, okay, who else do you have? And it took maybe 1 second for him to just say Jerica. Like, really.
She talks a lot and she's English.
Exactly. And then I started reading about you. It was, you were in some kind of radio shows as well, right? And you moved from Canada to open the yoga studio in Sweden. Why not open something in Canada? It feels much easier.
Yeah, that was not the original plan.
Right.
No, I met a Swedish guy on the beaches of Aruba.
Oh, it's always starts
and
with love.
Yeah, it's love. It's
Wow.
love, right? So after a couple years of dating, we decided that I would move here after my campaign had just finished and we won. Wow. And my boss was like, okay, you take a little break and see if it works out. If not, then you're still going to have your job back here. So I had a nice safe zone to be able to try Sweden out. And then when I got here, it's been 8 years, so I stayed.
8 years?
Yeah.
Wow.
But I opened the yoga studios 4 years ago. April 4 years ago.
So what did you do for those other 4 years?
I wrote a book, published. It's a chick lit book, so like fun and...
That's cool.
fun and flirty
I feel
book.
like something that everyone has a dream about. Writing a book is a bucket list thing.
Is it?
Yeah, I mean...
It's so introverted, like you're just sitting by yourself, talking to yourself in different people's voices. You're like a crazy person.
Yeah.
It's like fully crazy
wow. But
to be a writer.
You published it how many years ago you said?
4 years ago.
4 years ago. Okay.
Yeah. Actually, no, I published it way more than 4 years ago, 6 years ago, in 2014.
Okay.
So when I first moved here, I was still doing a little bit of work from here, from home. And then I decided to start writing, and it took me about 18 months.
Wow.
And then published it, and then did all of the work around managing it, had a blog and things like that. And
you did all by yourself? You didn't? Okay, you didn't have any, like, what do you call them?
I had an editor.
Oh, you did? Okay,
yeah,
okay.
and like a designer and things like that helped out.
Right.
But because I was doing everything alone, I wasn't integrated into like the society. I didn't learn the language. And the only thing I did was yoga, but it was only at gyms. So I really was longing for this like community where we could do yoga, hang out, like get some feelings out.
Definitely. Yeah.
So
and
I took the initiative
a good
myself.
For that, isn't it?
Like Sweden's a good country for the need for it, and I think it has been more and more popular in the last few years. And it's amazing because the stress levels here in Sweden are higher than I have seen anywhere in Canada. Wow. And I worked in politics.
Yeah,
so
that's crazy. I mean, you're the one that
people
knows.
here are really stressed out and having a hard time finding outlets for that stress. And then they feel like, they've hit the wall and they don't know how to get through it. And yoga and meditation have been known and tested by Karolinska Institutet that it is in fact helpful towards things like overstress and depression.
Oh, depression as well. Wow.
And anxiety.
Do you get like a prescription from the doctor? Really?
Oh, it's called FAR, fysisk aktivitet på recept.
Wow.
So
that's cool.
You can get Yeah, a
And then
prescription to
so-
come
so-
to do yoga.
So if I have some kind of depression and get this as a prescription, does the government pay my yoga bill? Or
Not right now.
Okay.
No, not right now. But that movement, this FAR concept, have gone to studios and gyms and things like that and asked to give discount for it.
Right.
So at our studio, Utopia Yoga Studios, we give 25% off for those people.
Okay. Yeah, that is very special. I mean, what you think of when you think relaxing is maybe coming home and putting a Netflix movie on and just sitting out in the couch. But after that movie, you kind of feel more tired.
Yeah, because
Right?
you've been sitting all hunched
Yeah,
forward, and you have a ton more information that you're downloading, like on top of all of the lights and colors that are
Yeah.
flashing around on the TV. So it can be calming for some people for a short moment, but it's not a sustainable way to have a break.
Right. Yeah, definitely. Because I remember when I was growing up, my grandparents and my father and my mother, when they said like, oh, I gotta take time off, it was basically going to the couch, getting some tea, because we love tea in our country.
Yeah, nice.
And then have you tried baklava? It's like a very sugary sweet. You not tried it maybe?
For sure I have.
Yeah, it's like Turkish as well.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So you eat this extremely sweet, thing, and then drink tea, and then you watch TV.
Like so much stimulation.
Right, and then you become relaxed. I've never seen them relaxed. So
They're high on sugar.
yeah, they are. So this is a different way of doing it, and like you said, it's very popular in US as well, in Canada,
Yeah.
Europe.
But yoga comes from India, right?
Right.
And it's 5,000 years old, so it's not like this new concept. It's only a new concept
Yeah.
for some people.
True.
But what yoga is really all about is for your body and mind to find awareness.
Right.
Is it?
That is very hard. I tried mindfulness, and there was some kind of music, and they said, okay, you have to count to 2 while breathing. Breathe to the nose or
Only
mouth.
2.
Yeah,
2
right.
seconds?
No, but it was 1, 2, and then you go up to 10.
Okay,
So
okay.
like 2 at a time, right?
Yeah.
But as soon as I come to 6, I started thinking about, did I lock my door, or did I, turn off the oven, or I started thinking about so many different things.
Yeah.
And it becomes this, stressful that you can't handle the mindfulness, and you're really bad at it. That becomes stress,
I shared the story about when I went to do teacher training in India. I was
Right.
there for over a month, and at the beginning of the training, to the end of the training, the hardest thing for me was meditation.
Wow.
Because we were sitting outside, 46-degree weather, like mosquitoes all over us all the time. Especially if you're sitting still, you're just like slapping your
Oh,
body the
man.
whole time while you're trying to be
That's crazy.
mindful, right?
Yeah.
So at the end of it, my guru teacher, he said, in the beginning of this month, Jerica, you are able to meditate for 2 seconds. And at the end, you're able to meditate for 2 minutes. And I started to laugh, and I'm like, am I really that bad at meditating still? 1 month. And
Wow.
I still couldn't, like you said, slow down all of those thoughts and really
Yeah.
shut things off. But after that, I really focused on meditation and found different ways. So for me, seated meditation outdoors, there's too much stimulation.
Okay, so you have to.
So
be
I have
indoors.
found different ways. I don't have to be indoors, but just this simple seated turn the brain off wasn't working for me. So I explored like hundreds of different meditations. And one of them that I like the most, because I don't wear contacts,
Yeah.
is the candlelit meditation. And you look at the flame and you allow the flame to surround you, to like encompass you with the light, and you stare at it and you try not to blink.
That's hard.
It's so hard.
Wow.
And you don't have to close your eyes and imagine you're on a cloud.
Exactly.
Yeah,
it
you're
doesn't
doing like
feel
a
that
real no, but meditation, of course, like not to get like too philosophical about it, but meditation is not about anything that you do. Meditation is not like, oh, now I'm in the clouds or in this white room and this is heaven. No, meditation is simply taking a break. Is it?
Yeah.
It's trying to find the stop of everything, the stop of movement, the stop of millions of thoughts. And however you do that, like going a walk in the woods, meditation. For your parents,
Yeah,
sitting on the
yeah.
couch eating sugar.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure that's a meditation, but I wish that was a meditation.
Meditation is just when you give yourself a break. That's it.
Wow. Yeah, and how many times do you have to? Like I was talking to Patrick, he said that he was meditating quite a while ago, and he imagined himself or he saw himself coming down the road, like, and talking to himself.
Cool.
Is that like the highest level of meditation you can get, or?
Yeah, I think the highest level. No, the highest level of meditation is enlightenment. So
right, true.
But you have to be really self-aware, aware of your mind, aware of your breath, aware of your body and thoughts to be able to get to that level of practice.
Wow. And if you get to that level, are you able to shut down, pain, for example?
Oh, of course, but you have to deal with it first.
Right.
So it comes out in a lot of different ways. You feel emotional or you feel angry.
Yeah.
Like in your meditation where you're counting and then getting stressed out from not being good at meditation.
Right.
It's a block, but you're still having emotions come out. And if you deal with those and choose, overcome the emotion and continue the meditation, then you've gone through a new step.
Yeah. And we were speaking also that due to the corona crisis, you guys have been switching to digital, right?
Exactly. We're in such a wonderful place in the world where we weren't hit by this news while we were in it. Right. Like we got information and then we're able to react. So I'm not doing anything that is new or I'm not doing anything that is first. Mm-hmm. The only thing that we did at Utopia Yoga Studios is that we reacted with consideration to those who had to or wanted to be at home. Right. And one of them is our own teacher who has a low immune system. Mm-hmm. And she was afraid that should she even be teaching or practicing that she would get sick. And we don't want to take yoga away from those people. That's the last thing that needs to happen.
True. Especially these times.
Exactly. So instead, we took different measures at the studio to have it clean, to lower the amount of attendance that is allowed. And then all of the classes are online. Right. We have 27 a week, sometimes 30 a week, because we choose to add some classes for demand. And so everyone can keep their schedules the way they had it before.
Wow.
And that's really important in times of change where not everything needs to change.
Definitely. So we have a segment in the podcast.
Nice. I'm so nervous about this. I've heard Patrick do it. I'm like, oh gosh.
Yeah, right.
On the spot.
Yeah, he did. But he had 50-50 questions. Some good ones, some real terrible questions. I was so sorry for him. All right. Kicking off the first question.
Okay.
Would you rather have a dog with a cat's personality or a cat with a dog's personality?
Cat-dog personality.
The
cat personality, they're so sneaky, conniving a tiny bit.
Yeah.
You're always wondering, like, what are they thinking? Are they thinking, like, when is she going to,
Exactly. And they always, like, pet me or feed me, always on their command.
Yeah.
Never, like, in your command.
They're a little too sneaky for me.
True. Do you have a dog, by the way?
I have a dog back in Canada, but I didn't bring him here. He's with my parents. Yeah.
No way. And now you're not going to be able to meet him for a while.
Yeah.
Wow.
We'll see.
You can Skype.
We Skype. Skype Cooper.
How do you Skype with a dog? That's a short conversation. Yeah. Like, hello.
He tries to lick it, damages the computer, jumps on it.
Second question. If you were reborn in a new life, would you rather be alive in the past or the future?
I would say the future because we already know what the past was about. Right. So let's just jump into the unknown instead of going back in time.
So, and how long forward are we talking about?
It doesn't matter. It could be thousands of years.
Wow.
What would make it the difference? If I went back thousands of years, I'm going to live in a totally different society than I live in now. Definitely. So if I go forward, same. But I know that in the past wasn't so great for females. So
no, it wasn't.
I'm going to jump forward and hope that.
That is very true. Good one. Okay. Coming down to the third question. Would you rather be free or be totally safe?
Free or safe? But what does free mean?
Yeah, what does free mean to you?
Yeah. I would say safe.
Right.
Yeah. You can
What is
still
the feeling of safe? How would you describe that?
I
compared
would
to
say I would
free?
say safe feels no stress.
Right. Yeah.
So you have you're safe over your financial, safe over your physical being, safe over your mental being. You can live a really nice life,
Right.
not
And
having to worry.
that's true. And free. How would you describe free then?
Oh, I think that free is like a misconception of what it is. But people think free is free to do whatever they want at any given time without consequences, right? So that can be fun for a little while, but not my way of life.
Okay. Would you rather experience the beginning of the planet or the end?
Oh, cool. Can I be like a human, or do I have to be like in the beginning?
Well, see yourself as a ghost if you want.
Okay. No, I want
You
to
can
see
be
how.
Casper.
No, I want to see how everything started.
Started.
Yeah.
Wow. Would it change a lot of things that you know? I mean, like,
I'm sure we don't really know that much.
do you believe in Big Ben or?
Yeah.
Or right.
Yeah. So I want to see like how everything was created. I think
Right.
that's so fascinating.
Yeah, it is.
And it's like springtime where you get to like see the seeds go into plants and give you food.
True.
And then you know that at the end of the season, the winter comes and they don't live anymore. It's much nicer.
Yeah, than seeing the end of the world. That
Exactly.
feels so dramatic. Yeah, it's like, Big Ben is just an explosion and then you got dinosaurs coming out,
It's so cool.
Yeah. Okay. Would you rather reverse one decision you make every day or be able to stop time for 10 seconds every day?
Oh, I think I would reverse a decision.
You make bad decisions, huh?
I'm a mom of 2 small kids.
That is
So, and I run 2 businesses.
Right.
And I think that sometimes I snap,
yeah.
stop yelling.
Yeah.
And then I would revert that decision, take it a little calmer. And, now they've been home 3 weeks from school. So working with the children is a new way of life. So I would change a decision
Right.
and be a little happier, calmer.
But you can only do it once. So if you snap a couple of times, I mean,
At least it minimizes the snapping.
It does. That's a good choice. And the last one is, it's I don't know how you would see it, but okay. Would you rather be Donald Trump or George Bush?
Well, to be Donald Trump, it would be really, really strange to
Right.
jump into this like just mass narcissism
Yeah.
and nothing else in the world exists other than your own self. So that would be weird.
Yeah, but he feels safe probably.
He probably feels very safe. He feels free, that's for
That's
sure.
true. That's true.
George Bush, yeah. I don't know. I would choose none.
Yeah, it's like an alcoholic or a narcissist.
Exactly, with like a troubling family past
yeah.
or...
Well, you have to choose one.
I have to choose
you
one.
You have to, yeah.
Okay. I could not be Donald Trump, so I have to be George Bush.
Yeah, right. Great. Great. We got it on tape. You made it. You
Yay.
made it. After the first segment, we also have a new segment before we deep dive in yoga and politics that you'll be working with. And the segment is called True or False. So the first question, true or false? Canada is the second largest country in the world.
True.
Toronto is the capital of Canada.
No. False.
And the capital is?
Ottawa.
Nice. That's where you're from, right?
I'm actually born and raised in Montreal, and then we moved to Toronto. I went to university in Ottawa, though.
Oh,
so
right.
I've jumped around.
Right. But is generally, is Canada like Sweden?
Landscape-wise,
Yeah.
same.
Huh.
Like with the lakes and the trees, and everything is really similar. Of course, if we go to the west, then we have mountains. But if you go to the west, you have mountains too.
True.
Norway,
That is-
right?
Yeah, that is true.
So landscape-wise, it's the same. Culturally, the same. I always say, and I don't know if this is like fully right, but that Canadians are like a tiny bit more open and nicer and friendlier.
I
But
can see that. I can see that.
But I have experienced so many like open, nice people here too. But I think in Sweden, in comparison, people like stay in their own lane and don't try to bother other people as much. In Canada, people want to bother you all the time.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Like in what way? Like you go.
Oh, like the neighbor will be like, "What are you doing today?
It's like,
why
none of your
did you park
business."
that way? You always park this way." It's like, what? Why do
Really?
you care? They care
Wow,
so much.
wow. But it's nice. I mean, yeah, it can be too much sometimes, of course. But I miss that in Sweden.
Yeah.
Because, like you said, if we go on the bus and you look at the way people sit, there's always like a spare room beside them. You know, nobody's
They're always socially distancing.
Yeah, always. Like we've been practicing it from the day
We're
one.
like really good at social
Exactly.
distancing here. Yeah.
So Canada has the world's longest coastline. True or false?
False.
That is true.
Wow.
That is true. Canada's number 1, Norway's second, and Indonesia, and then you have Russia. Russia is always on the count. Second question. Hockey is the only official sport of Canada. True or false?
False.
Could you name some sports that are really big in Canada?
Sure. Basketball, lacrosse.
What? That's a weird sport.
I
That's
know.
a really
But
weird
you got
sport.
some weird sports here too. We don't have
In a band.
band. Yeah,
Right,
exactly.
right.
Bandy, yeah.
I knew you would say that.
Yeah.
How do you even say that in English?
I don't know. Like
Yeah.
we have like floor hockey or field hockey.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's kind of like that, but then you do it on skates. So
That is
we don't have
true.
this concept.
That is very true. Yeah, we are odd in some ways. And we have a couple of weird questions, or this one is weird, so
Ooh.
be prepared for that. True or false? Female kangaroos have 3 vaginas.
Oh my God, I've never heard of this.
Right.
False.
It's actually true.
Well, that's weird.
That is super weird.
That's so weird.
When
Wait,
I-
how many can they have 3 babies at a
I
time?
don't
Like
even
how
know.
many wombs do they have? I'm looking into this now. That is cool.
When I saw it, I didn't Google further because I was so afraid what's coming next. You never know with Google.
Maybe it's not true.
Right. True or false? There are 10 times more bacteria in your body than actually body cells.
Oh, I believe it. True.
Yeah, that is also very true and disgusting.
It's super gross. I have
is.
to consistently tell my children, like, bacteria, 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 but like
right.
everything is bacteria.
It is, yeah.
Like, don't put your hands in your mouth. And then in your nose, and then in your mouth, and then on money, and then in your mouth.
Yeah, that's true. And now it's very hard. I mean, like, you know, they say that you can't touch your face.
And then,
due to the
like, you know, when you
coronavirus.
say don't do something, people are like,
I know.
"What?" And then they just touch
immediately
the
wanna
face
scratch
all
it.
the time. They're like, no, I need to. I
crazy.
need to touch it.
Some turtles can breathe through their butts.
Whoa.
Mm-hmm. This is like the kangaroos.
Whoa. Then I'm going to go with false because the kangaroo is true.
But this is also true.
We're learning so much about animals
there's
today.
so much weird animals on planet Earth.
No, that is weird. Why we're not educated on their reproductive systems?
I don't know. Does people even care about turtles?
Yeah, I love
Really?
turtles.
Really?
Oh, they can live so old. They're so
Yeah.
slow. They're so mindful. You know, they're like the yoga animal.
Wow.
And they're in and out of water. They're like just chill wherever they are.
Yeah. And just like sloths, right?
Sloths are super slow.
Right. They're super chill. So, leaving the segments, going directly to the political side of you. And before we go into that, due to all this corona crisis and such, you have your family in Canada.
Yeah.
How are they doing? How is Canada fighting this virus?
So Canada went on lockdown very early before they had many reported cases. They did full federal-wide lockdown. So the way Canada works is usually you make decisions province by province.
Yeah.
But this was everywhere locked down. At the beginning, it was like what it is in Sweden, where social distance and things like that. But now all non-essential businesses are closed, and you can only go to the grocery store and to the pharmacy. And when that happened, right before the borders closed, my mother was with my niece, so my sister's daughter, in Florida.
Right. Oh, shit.
When they came back, they crossed the border. And they had to out loud say that they vow to stay in quarantine, self-quarantine for 14 days.
Wow.
So she wasn't able to bring her granddaughter back to my sister. They had to stay 2 weeks isolated in their home, my mom's home. And so they were having a hard time not being able to be like with family. And then doing their jobs full-time at home. It's a new crazy life that you have to juggle everything at once. And you have so much appreciation for all the conveniences we had before. People cooked for us. People watched our kids. People drove us around. And now everything is just done by ourselves. And we feel like, we really do need a village.
Definitely. Is the government stepping in to like save jobs like Sweden?
Yeah. Really? And it is wild. How many extra things that they're giving to people, and in terms of like rent and tax deductions and things like that, stopping of payments so people are alleviated the financial stress. And overall, I think Canada is handling it really, really well. The Prime Minister is every day talking to the nation, and not these like hour and a half rambling things like Trump, like gets to the point.
True, that's
new information finished, not like, I wonder, should I wear a mask? No, everyone else should wear a mask. I don't need to wear a mask. Well, maybe I'll wear a mask. I don't know. Like, how long do we have to sit there and watch him have this internal, outward conversation?
But the thing is, they give him so much news time. That's the thing. I mean, Fox News is like basically his bitch. That's crazy.
It's so long.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, but your prime minister is also the youngest and the most good-looking prime minister in the world.
I know. He's really good-looking. And I got the privilege of getting to meet him when I worked in politics as well. And though he's got like a tiny bit of a bad rep for a few missed decisions in his term, I think maybe it was from overload of information and giving a little bit too much responsibility to staff versus him making and knowing all of the decisions. He was trusting in other people. So then, and that's a good thing to do. You don't need to micromanage all the time. You can delegate, and the country can be run very well. But in interviews, he was asked questions that he couldn't answer, that he was technically made the decision of.
Right.
But he fumbled and half-assed the answer and got a bit of bad rep for that.
Wow. So bring us back to your career as a campaign manager, you said? Or?
No, I didn't manage the campaign. I was coordinator in it, but I managed his constituency office.
Yeah.
So I was managing people and a lot of constituents in Toronto. And I was so privileged to work for a minister. He was the Minister of Foreign Affairs, but as a person, like as a politician, he was so smart. I say was because he's not in politics anymore.
Okay.
But
I thought it was dead first.
No, I know. Okay. Sorry. Womp womp. No.
He's alive again.
He's alive. He's just working in a different way. But he's a physician, a doctor, and also ran a worldwide charity. So he was a good person that wasn't there for any other reason other than making good decisions and bettering the community.
Right. How does this political system in Canada work in that case? Like, starting from you vote for some kind of person until the person becomes the prime minister. How does that process work?
Yeah, we have a parliamentary system that is similar to the one in the UK.
Right.
And so we have provinces, and then there are ministers of the province, provincially, and then federally. And you elect people based on your community. You elect people based on the province, and then you elect people based on the federal. So the federal one is like the entire country, and that is a different way of electing the prime minister versus here to there. Is you have to elect your local person, and if that person is a part of the party, it's a vote towards the party leader for federally. So you don't actually vote for Justin Trudeau unless you live in his community.
Right.
then you vote for him.
Yeah.
And then collectively, because he's given leadership of the Liberal Party, if there are more Liberals that all get elected in communities, then he is the leader of it.
How long were you working in politics in Canada?
I think around 5 years. I worked throughout my university and then afterwards as well. And I was the manager very quickly, and I was very young too to be running such an office.
Yeah.
We worked like 14 hours a day, and
Wow.
we had like 3 phones and we wrote speeches as well. So it was a very demanding job, but it was so rewarding, and you learn so much, and you learn how to manage your time, and you learn how to manage your stress levels too.
Yeah, and then I mean, going from a very stressful environment, like you said, 14 hours a day,
Yeah.
to have a yoga studio, that's
know.
a very big jump.
Yeah.
How did that come? I mean, you said something with love, you found love in Sweden, but still, it's a very big jump, right?
Of course. But when I came here and I moved to Västerås, there's not a lot moving here. So I had some time to learn to slow down, to learn to prioritize. And what I felt was most needed was an outlet for people to be able to have a break.
Yeah.
Because it's such a gym culture here, right?
It is.
Which is important too to stay healthy. But that is always like a little bit of a stressor as well. So you're going to the gym and you have to lift and then you have this amount of time and you're running. How long are you going to run for?
Exactly. No, it is.
I love to work out though, so don't get me wrong that I'm not like putting it down, but I'm saying in addition, we need to have a space or have some time for ourselves to find awareness of our body and awareness of our thoughts and our mind.
Right. Could you teach kids to have that? I saw that some in India, for example, in some schools they have it as a lecture.
I know
as well,
in,
right?
in Toronto too, there's yoga in schools for young children, and at home for our kids, we teach them deep breathing, and we teach them if they get angry, and they're 1.5 and 3 years old, so they're very small.
Very young.
But we teach them to take a deep breath and count and relax, and then tell us what they're mad at or tell us what the problem is. And they learn it and they appreciate it, and then they try to teach each other. So when one of them gets angry, the other one says, "Take a deep breath."
Oh, that's so cute.
It's really cute. In Canada, we have had yoga around for a lot longer time, and we've had different ways of living and expressing ourselves. And I think that generally they're less stressed out. Of course, they have some difficulties, but they have outlets already in place. That's a social norm of something to do. Not this like, hippie thing that I'm going to try.
Yeah.
You know, like
definitely.
yoga is an extra to your life that doesn't have to be a goal to stand on your head or a goal to, shut down all of the thoughts. Just baby steps. Move your body, breathe, and slow down. And that's yoga.
So for people that are in quarantine right now, they can't do anything at home, how would you start yoga? Or is it step per step?
Yeah, I would say that first of all, you could join any studio. There's a ton of studios who are going online now. Or you could just look at these YouTube videos. There's a ton of apps for it. But the first step that I would make at home is to shut everything off. Whether you want to sit down or lay down, scan your body. So
how do you scan your
body? I know,
body?
I love that. So you're taking deep breaths in and out, and you're feeling the breath. Feel the breath go in through your nose, swirl around your nostril, down into the chest. You feel the lungs, and then your lungs move when you breathe in, right? So then you could feel that your ribs expand out a tiny bit, like the gills of a fish, sort of breathing in and out. And then you scan through the body, relaxing each part of it. So you can relax your jaw because it's always so tight in. You relax your tongue from wherever it's stuck up against. As our tongue is a really strong muscle that we never really think of it's always active.
I thought it's relaxed right now. It feels relaxed.
It's not relaxed, you're talking. And then you relax your shoulders, your arms, your hips, your legs. And when you scan through the body, relaxing every bit of it, you start to feel it. I'm stiff in my shoulders today.
Yeah.
I have been leaning so far forward. I have been on my phone too much, my computer too much. I need to open up and stretch through those muscles and stretch through that fascia. Because if we just keep being stiff and still, it's only going to cause us more pain and discomfort.
Right.
There are sutras where it tells you like how to live in your life, not just how to move your physical body. And those tell you about how things like judgment and self-hatred, those are these illusions that we need to try to overcome so that we can live a little bit more peacefully and with purpose and kind to each other and to ourselves. So it's a way of life, not just a way of...
Just showing who you are. Right. Wow. It has been amazing. It has been really, really amazing to get to know what this yoga means. You know, like I said in the beginning, everybody's talking about it. Everybody's sharing their, photos. And now I really know what it really means. And for people that got interested and would like to join your studio, how can they reach out to you?
Well, we are called Utopia Yoga Studios, and you can find us our website, utopiayogastudios.com, and on Facebook and Instagram as well. And you could sign up for your first class for free. We have gratis prova på. That includes online classes and in-person classes. And our locations are in Västerås and Köping. And we welcome everybody who wants to take a break because you need it and you deserve it. And especially in these times where we have just downloads of information, downloads of fear and insecurities. Oh, we need to just take a freaking break every now and then.
That is very true.
Yes.
Well, thank you, Jerica, for
Thank
being
you
a
for
part
having
of
me.
Sunday Stories. It's amazing that you had the time. I know you're very busy with children, with yoga studio, and everything. I wish you all the luck.
Thank you so much.
Be safe in this corona times.
Yes, you too. Thanks for having me.
Thanks.